Hi, I'm Garrett.
Hi, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Matthew.
Our topic is self-reliance and independence.
One of our subtopics is, which characters do you guys believe is becoming an individual versus a follower? And how do you think this affects them? I personally believe Hester is an individual throughout the whole story.
I agree with you. Hester shows a lot of examples of independence, but one of her main examples is her sin, adultery. Adultery was something that nobody expects from girls in that time. That's why it was such a big deal, because it was very individualistic action. No one expected it. It wasn't what girls normally did in that time, and it was a very individual thing for her to do.
I agree with both of you, because I also believe Hester's an individual throughout the whole book, and it definitely had an effect on her. An example of this, on page 49, it explains that the people wanted her dead, and obviously this shows that no one really wanted her there, and they didn't appreciate it. Moving from Hester, now we go to Dimsdale. I believe Dimsdale was a follower throughout the entire book.
I disagree with you, Matt. I believe he was a follower all the way up until the end, when he became an individual. He was a follower because he did what you'd expect most people to do with his type of situation, which is keep quiet about his big sin. However, in the end, he became clean about his sin by making a good choice of telling the people in the town of what he did with Hester, which made him an individual.
I agree with you guys. I believe he was an individual, but then he was a follower and then became an individual. But how did it affect him? I believe it ate him up. The guilt from his sin ate him up and eventually started torturing him. It made him more susceptible to children's manipulation. It made him torture himself mentally and physically. Like in chapter 12, it talks about all the things he did to himself and talks about him going out to the scaffold. Overall, it affected him dramatically, and when he finally came clean, he felt great and he was able to die in peace. Now that we've finished Dimsdale, let's move on to Pearl. Pearl, I think, is the strongest example of an individual in the book, and she continues to be an individual throughout the entire book. What do you guys think?
I'd agree. Pearl is probably the strongest example of an individual in the book, because she kind of has a don't care attitude. She just does whatever she pleases, doesn't really care what other people think. And also, she's kind of in her own world, but also remaining very curious about everything, such as the black man. And she pursues what she wants to know and what she knows, and does certain things that other children of the age wouldn't normally do.
I agree with you, Matt. Because of Pearl's defiance, she discovers topics kids her age wouldn't know about, such as the black man, like you said. Pearl was super curious. I believe in chapter 16, she keeps asking Hester, who's the black man, tell her stories about the black man. And Hester quotes that, once in my life, the black man, said her mother, the scarlet letter is his mark. That she met the black man. And Pearl kept asking her, who is he, and then Hester did give in, but then she told her to go run up and catch some sun. That wouldn't shine down on Hester, but shines more down on Pearl.
So we all agree that she was an individual throughout the entire book, never changed?
Yes, because she was more in her world rather than other people's.
She was definitely different.
Yeah.